Welcome everybody to Sunday services. As you can tell, I've been homeschooling all day and all week and can't seem to get rid of my storyteller voice. But I think it's okay. So long as I don't start counting on my nose, that's when we have the intervention. Seriously though, welcome to Sunday services. We are streaming on Facebook, on YouTube, and we're all joined together as a community here on Zoom. If you're on Zoom with us, welcome. Consider staying afterwards, just a few minutes to get the link to Talkback. Talkback happens right after this, and it's where we spend time as a community and talk about the service or what's going on in the world. And just, again, spend time as a community. We miss that, right? Let's see. Oh, if you go to Facebook, you can also, and YouTube now, on YouTube as well, you can access former services. And Facebook gives you notifications when we get new things. I guess YouTube does that too, so I need to condense those things in my mind for next week. Today's service is part of our Spirit and Practice series. It is Toward a Rich and Meaningful Unitarian Universalist Spirituality with Renée Brill. In addition to Sunday services, we have other ways to connect, including Facebook, Instagram, the e-blast for your news, and our new YouTube channel, which we're filling up. Board meetings are now weekly, Mondays at 7 o'clock. All are welcome. Oh, and we scheduled the fall parish meeting. It is October 18th at 2 o'clock, so mark your calendars for that. If you're needing some pastoral care, and so many of us are right now, please contact Deneen at pastoralcare@oakcliffuu.org. I hear she's extremely helpful, and if I ever get 1 second of time, I might be emailing her. There are several ways to serve your church. If you can help financially, go to oakcliffuu.org/donate. Amazon Smile if you're using Amazon. I Give if you're using anything else. The text to give option, which some of you love, and our new donate button on Facebook. Took a while, but we got it. All right. Oh, Rebecca is doing something fun for fundraising. The church hasn't been able to rent anything out, so we've got a few fundraising things that we gotta get going. There are some really cool socially conscious things to buy from the Syracuse Cultural Workers site. Head on over and find some stuff that you love, but don't buy it there. All right. In order for us to get a piece of the proceeds, you need to order through Rebecca. You can contact her at handyandyReb@gmail.com. Hopefully Scott's got it correctly. I don't know if there's a Y. Anyway, or you can check out the post in our Facebook group for our Facebook Talkback group if you really need some more information on the whole thing. It's that time again. You notice the fun hat? I know they're always random, but this one has a purpose. It's Halloween prep time. This year we are doing a haunted forest every Saturday in October. Man, we tried so hard last year, remember, and it rained, but it was going to be so cool. And we put it indoors and it was amazing. Gosh, Halloween was so fun last year. So you know what we need, right? Volunteers. We have positions for everybody, and for any time really. We need people to create the scary decorations. We need people to hang the scary decorations. We need people to staff the event in multiple ways, set up, clean up, and, we need a few of you to scare the crap out of some little children. If I remember correctly, Renee and Beth really enjoyed that last year. All right, so there is a ton of stuff to do. So if you can help in any way, prepping, staffing, tearing down, any of it, please do. It'll be so much fun. Once again, contact Rebecca at her email address. If you do volunteer your time or your talent, whether at that event or anything else, please be sure to log your time so that we can turn those hours into money. Maybe we could even buy a giant chocolate fountain. Every week I try to get more ridiculous. All right, you can do this in breeze. Go log it in. Alicia, go log in your time and talent right now. Guest book. If you are new here, welcome, 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 welcome. Go sign our guest book at oakcliffuu.org/guest. That tiger still on that card. All right. Member anniversaries. All right. This week we've got two. The first, happy UUCOC anniversary to Chris Kaiser. Second, last but never, ever least, very own Johnny Chapman. And it's extra special because she specifically requested the booty shaking llama. I wasn't going to do it this week, but she requested it, and you know I'm going to do anything that Johnny asks. So. Happy member anniversary to you both, and happy Sunday to everybody.
Good morning and welcome to our service at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Oak Cliff. Even though we are not physically together this morning, we are gathered in spiritual community to be called to our better selves. If this is your first time at a UU church, know that in the words of Andrea Lerner, our faith is not interested in saving your soul. We're here to help you unfold the awesome soul you already have.
The element of fire represents passion, veracity, authenticity, and vitality. If the chalice is the supporting structure of the Unitarian Universalism, then we are the flame. We are the flame fanned strong by our passions for freedom, our yearning for truth-telling, our daring to be authentic with one another, and the vitality we sustain in our meeting together. In all of this, there is love.
Let us worship with our eyes and ears and fingertips.
Let us love the world through heart and mind and body.
We feed our eyes upon the mystery and revelation in the faces of our brothers and sisters.
We seek to know the wistfulness of the very young and the very old, the wistfulness of people in all kinds of life.
We seek to understand the shyness behind arrogance, the fear behind pride, the tenderness behind clumsy strength, the anguish behind cruelty.
All life flows into a great common life, if we will only open our eyes to our companions.
Let us worship, not in bowing down, not with closed eyes and stopped ears.
Let us worship with the opening of all the windows of our beings, with the full outstretching of our spirits.
Life comes with singing and laughter, with tears and confiding, with a rising wave too great to be held in the mind and heart and body, to those who have fallen in love with life.
Let us worship, and let us learn to love.
Be ours a religion which like sunshine goes everywhere. Its temple space, its shrine the good heart, its creed all truth, its ritual works of love. Be ours a religion which like sunshine goes everywhere. Its temple space, its shrine the good heart, its creed all truth, its ritual works of love. Be ours a religion which like sunshine goes everywhere. Its temple space, its shrine the good heart, its creed all truth, its ritual works of love.
Please join your voice to mine in affirming our congregation's spiritual covenant. Because we love one another, we honor each individual's spiritual journey. We celebrate life's abundance and service to each other, our community, and the world. We connect with each other in love, respect, and acceptance. Thus do we covenant together.
And now in Spanish. Porque nos amamos uno al otro, honramos el viaje espiritual de cada individuo. Celebramos la abundancia de la vida en el servicio a entre sí, nuestra comunidad y el mundo. Ponemos en contacto a unos con otros en el amor, respeto y aceptación, así que hacemos pacto.
You are not alone with your sorrow, just as I am not alone with mine. Our covenant of right relations makes this so. You and I are bound by our promise to commune. In community, the burden of a heavy heart is shared. A burden shared is a burden lightened. At this time, we invite you to publicly post your sorrows and prayer requests to the Zoom chat or send those to our Facebook Messenger.
When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love.
This Sunday, like every Sunday, we reaffirm our promise to one another. Our promise makes clear the call to celebrate, for that which brings you joy, makes you grateful, brings you peace. We, your sacred community, celebrate. We celebrate together and magnify joy, heighten gratitude, and spread ever-increasing peace. Please share your joys publicly in the Zoom chat or send those to our Facebook Messenger or speak those aloud now.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart of the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Archbishop Desmond Tutu has this to say on the topic of spiritual practice. One image I have of the spiritual life is of sitting in front of a fire on a cold day. We don't have to do anything. We just have to sit in front of the fire And then gradually, the qualities of the fire are transferred to us. We begin to feel the warmth. We become the attributes of the fire. It's like that with us and God. As we take time to be still and to be in God's presence, the qualities of God are transferred to us. Now, this image of spiritual practice as sitting by a campfire really deeply resonates with me. For one thing, sitting by a campfire is a critical part of my spiritual practice. And if I've gone too long without sitting next to a fire, I will be cranky and feel like I am missing a connection to something that is important to me. The other reason why this resonates with me is, as anyone can tell you who sat next to a campfire or a bonfire, the smell of the smoke clings to all of your clothes. It clings to your bags and your backpack and your tent. And even days afterwards, you will find things that still smell like the campfire. It is a smell that comes and carries with you, reminding you of this touchstone of your life. Spiritual practice is like that. One of the reasons why I chose to seek out a spiritual home for myself is because so many of my heroes have or had important and deep spiritual lives. Howard Thurman, Dorothea Day, Martin Luther King Jr., Cesar Chavez, Thich Nhat Hanh. The common thread that each of these leaders offer is that they had a rich spiritual life and robust spiritual practices. Their religious and spiritual life is part of what gave them hope that they needed to sustain their important work. I want that for myself. And I think that now is an especially good time to remind myself of the power of getting in touch with that is most precious and important to me. But I have a problem. I have ADHD, and I don't really like to sit still, or to be quiet, or to study ancient tones. So for a long time, I thought of myself as just somebody who was not going to be a meditate person, or not going to be a prayer person, or not going to be a spiritual person. But part of why I love the Spirit in Practice series that we're going to start here in our services is because it offers a very expansive view of what spiritual practice means. A spiritual practice is anything that we do regularly and intentionally to experience or connect with the divine and with our highest values. There's two important parts of that we do it regularly and that we do it intentionally. Over the next few months, we're going to be exploring spiritual practices through a framework developed by Reverend Eric Walker Wickstrom. He created this model by drawing on the curriculum created by Zen Mountain Monastery in Mount Tremper, New York, for the training of its own students. The Spirit in Practice series focuses on 8 spheres of spiritual practice. These spheres are personal spiritual practices, communal worship practices, spiritual partnerships, mind practices, body practices, soul practices, life practices, and justice practices. Taken together, these offer a holistic, well-rounded diet for your spiritual life. Reverend Wickstrom offers the following definitions for each of these spheres. Personal spiritual practices. These are practices done alone and perhaps daily, such as meditation, dream work, journaling, prayer, and so on. They're what most people think of when they hear the words spiritual practice. Communal worship practices. Although Unitarian Universalists affirm the uniqueness and individual nature of a person's spiritual path, our movement is also focused on a belief that community is essential to that journey. Regular engagement with communal worship, the ongoing and collective search for truth and meaning, is one way of supporting this belief. Spiritual partnerships. Spiritual development is hard work, and most faith traditions affirm the usefulness of companions on the journey. A spiritual partnership can take the form of participation in a small group, a one-on-one relationship with another congregant, a spiritual guidance from one's minister, or one's own personal therapy. What matters most is the intentionality of this relationship with another person and a mutual commitment to the journey. Mind practices. Could a program of spiritual development be truly Unitarian Universalist without an intellectual component? This is a role of adult religious education. Book studies, film discussions, lectures, adult forums, scripture studies, courses in UU history, and other religious education offerings are ways to fulfill this dimension of a rich integrated program. Body practices. We know that mind, body, and soul are interconnected. So doesn't it make sense then that a well-rounded spiritual practice includes some kind of physical practice? It might be running, sitting, gardening, tai chi, massage, or virtually anything else that keeps us in touch with the miracle of our physical selves. Soul practices. These are the practices that exercise our creative selves. Drawing, painting, sculpting, music, poetry, and other creative human endeavors. It's been said that the biblical expression that humans are made in the image of God means that we are made to be creative. Life practices. Religious traditions from around the world agree that we eventually need to take what we do in private and in our congregations and bring it out into the rest of our lives. In our relationships with family members, in our workplace, and in our interactions with strangers. Lastly, justice practices. A fully mature spirituality does not stop at the goal of transforming oneself, but must extend beyond oneself to others, and to include a vision of transforming the world. These definitions provided by Reverend Wickstrom are really expansive and inclusive, and they include a lot of looks at spiritual practices that I had really never thought of or considered as a part of my spirituality until I first encountered this material. Now, of course, there's plenty of overlap between these categories, and one activity might fall into multiple spheres. For example, marching in the Pride Parade might be considered both a community practice and a justice practice. Writing or singing a song about ending police violence could be considered both a soul practice and a justice practice. Switching to natural and eco-friendly cosmetics could be considered both a body practice and a justice practice. Taken together, these spheres of practice can form a balanced diet of spiritual nourishment. Now, I'm not suggesting that we transform our spiritual lives into a checklist based around these 8 spheres, but exploring this model can be a great jumping off point to establishing new creative plans for your own spiritual journey. a jumping off point for your own exploration, and can give us an expansive view of just what is possible. Over the coming weeks, we will be discussing these practices in our worship series, and we'll also be discussing our practices in our talkbacks each week. If you're joining us for talkback, I'd like to ask you to consider the following questions. And if not, I would love to hear in your comments below on the site you're watching, is there anything that you think is missing from this model? Do you think that any one sphere is easier to tend to in your life or harder to tend to than the others? Is there anything about these spheres or a particular sphere that you're more excited or interested in? I'm looking forward to exploring and developing a more grounded spiritual life with you and to hear about your journey over the coming months. Thank you, Amen, and Ashe.
We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know with Him, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. We are going. Heaven knows where we are going, but we know within, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We are going. Heaven knows where we are going, but we know within, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Let there be an offering to sustain and strengthen this place, which is sacred to so many of us, a community of memory and hope, for we are now the keepers of the dream. To make an offering or your pledge, please go to oakcliffuu.org/donate and follow the links.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. De ti yo recibo, a ti te doy. Así compartimos y vivimos hoy. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share,
from this we live. De ti yo recibo, a ti te doy. Así compartimos y vivimos hoy.
In interfaith dialogue and in our spiritually diverse congregations, the analogy of a mountain is often used. There are many paths up a mountain. Each path has its own pluses and minuses. The north face may be faster, but also more technically challenging. The south face may meander more easily and provide more overlooks. Each will appeal to or repel different people. One of the things that make our movement unique is that we do not insist that everyone take the same route. Rather, we encourage people to find the path that suits them. And then we go a step further. At our best, we keep gathering together to discuss what we've seen and done on our journeys thus far. That means that the folks going up the north face get a bit of the flavor of the trip they might have taken, and the folks going up the south face get to vicariously experience a different kind of climb than the one they're on. This mutual give and take, in the context of conversation, not conversion, can only enrich the experience of all who take part in it, even those who are just walking back and forth around the base camp.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And now in Spanish. Extinguimos esta llama, pero no la luz de la verdad, el calor de comunidad o el fuego de nuestro compromiso. Estos los llevaremos en el corazón hasta que estemos juntos otra vez. Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night. If you cannot sing like angels, if you cannot speak before thousands, you can give from deep within.